Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something tiny but really fascinating. The pineal gland.
It has such a rich history, doesn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, Descartes famously called it the principal seat of the soul.
Yeah.
And you hear about the third eye in, spiritual traditions.
Absolutely. But then, bam, 1958 happens. Aaron Lerner discovers melatonin.
Right. And suddenly it's not just philosophy anymore.
Exactly. It becomes this neuroendocrine master clock, the thing that syncs your whole body to the day-night cycle.
So our mission today is to kind of bridge that gap, right?
Yeah.
Between the mystique and the modern science.
Yeah, look at things like activation and decalcification, but, through evidence-based lens.
Okay, let's dive in. It's deep in the brain, small pine cone shaped. What makes it so special and maybe a bit fragile?
Well, two really key things. First, it's outside the blood-brain barrier.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And second, it gets a huge amount of blood flow, like second only to the kidneys.
Wow. So it can pump out melatonin really efficiently.
Precisely. But that lack of barrier and high blood flow also mean it's uniquely exposed to whatever's circulating in your blood.
Toxins, minerals. Okay. I see how that links to calcification later.
We'll get there. But first, activation. What does that actually mean scientifically?
Good question. Not some mystical thing then.
No, scientifically, activation is really about optimizing melatonin, getting that strong rhythmic release happening reliably, making sure your master clock is, keeping good time.
And the biggest lever we can pull for that is?
Light. Simple as that. There are specialized cells in your retina.
Right, the ones that detect light.
Exactly. They detect light, especially blue light, around the 460, 480 nanometer range. And that signal goes to your brain's master clock, the SCN.
The suprachiasmatic nucleus.
That's the one. And it tells the pineal gland, hey, it's daytime. Stop making melatonin.
So for you listening, what are the practical steps? How do you use light properly?
Okay, number one, maximize daytime light. Seriously, try to get 15, maybe 20 minutes of natural sunlight in the morning, no sunglasses.
Anchors the rhythm.
Firms right up. And then, crucially, the opposite at night. Minimize light, especially blue light from screens, phones, tablets.
The usual suspects.
Yeah. Try to put them away an hour or two before bed. Use dim, warm lights. Let the pineal gland do its job.
Makes sense. Light is clearly huge. Are there other sort of lifestyle things that support this?
Definitely. Consistent sleep is vital. Going to bed and waking up around the same time reinforces the cycle.
And exercise. Stress.
Yep. Regular exercise, ideally not too late in the day, helps. And managing stress things like mindfulness, maybe yoga, they also strengthen those circadian rhythms. It's all interconnected.
And speaking of yoga and meditation, this is where it gets really interesting, right? There's actual science showing effects on the pineal gland itself.
This is pretty compelling stuff, actually. fMRI studies, so functional brain scans, show actual increased activity in the pineal region during meditation.
Oh.
And clinical trials show that meditation can lead to an acute increase in nighttime melatonin levels.
So a direct physiological response.
Exactly. And maybe the most striking thing, structural MRI studies. They found that long-term meditators can have enhanced signal intensity in their pineal gland.
Meaning the gland itself might be changing?
It suggests that yes, and it correlated with how many hours they'd practiced over their lifetime. It points towards experience-dependent neuroplasticity. Your mental practice might physically enhance the gland.
Okay, that's activation covered. Now let's switch gears to the other big topic, decalcification. This brain sand thing.
Right, pineal gland calcification, or PGC, it's surprisingly common.
How common are we talking?
Prevalence really climbs with age. You're looking at potentially over 69% in adults over 40.
69%, that's huge. And what is it exactly, this sand?
It's mainly calcium phosphates. The main one is hydroxyapatite, which is, the same mineral found in bones and teeth.
So is it just passive buildup, like limescale in a kettle?
That was the old thinking. But now we understand it's more of an active process, like actual bone formation, ossification.
Right. With specific cells involved.
Yeah, sometimes involving mesenchymal stem cells. Those are cells that can turn into bone. It often forms in these organized sort of concentric layers. And paradoxically, the gland's own melatonin might even play a role in triggering it under certain conditions.
Okay, that's complex. Now, there's a specific substance often linked to this calcification. Fluoride.
Yes. This is a really critical point for people to understand. The pineal gland accumulates more fluoride than any other soft tissue in the body.
More than anywhere else. Why?
Fluoride just has a very strong affinity for calcium, and research suggests it can actually stimulate this calcification process. Studies have linked higher fluoride levels in the pineal gland with more calcification.
Which definitely raises some public health questions.
It does.
So if the gland gets calcified, what are the knock-on effects? What are the health consequences for you?
Well, the big one is reduced melatonin production, and that doesn't just affect your sleep-wake cycle.
Right, it's linked to other things too.
Yes. Lower melatonin is associated with an increased risk for neurodegenerative diseases, like Alzheimer's, partly because melatonin helps clear out amyloid plaques. It's also linked to some mental health disorders, migraines, even cardiovascular issues.
Okay, so it's quite serious. But you mentioned this calcification is like bone formation. Can it actually be reversed? Can you decalcify?
Ah, that's the million-dollar question. And honestly, reversing established soft tissue calcification is, well, it's extremely difficult. There's no magic bullet.
So prevention is key.
Prevention and mitigation, yes. The focus should be on reducing the triggers.
What are the evidence-based ways to do that?
Primarily, minimize your fluoride exposure. That might mean using non-fluoridated toothpaste, getting a good water filter that removes fluoride.
Like reverse osmosis or activated alumina filters.
Exactly. And being mindful of processed foods or drinks made with fluoridated water. Also, an anti-inflammatory diet rich in antioxidants can help reduce the overall inflammatory state that might contribute to ossification.
What about all those supplements you've seen online? Boron, iodine, apple cider vinegar, claiming to decalcify the pineal gland.
Yeah, you have to be really careful there. There's currently a lack of direct scientific evidence showing these specific things effectively target and reverse pineal calcification. Often, the claims are based on a kind of logical leap, not solid clinical data for this specific purpose.
So focus on the evidence. Fluoride reduction, anti-inflammatory diet.
That's where the science currently points for mitigation.
Okay, let's wrap this up. For you listening, what's the core message here? The evidence-based path forward.
I'd say true activation really comes down to lifestyle consistency. Managing your light exposure meticulously, maintaining good sleep hygiene, considering mind-body practices like meditation.
Things you can actively do.
Right, and for decalcification, it's less about reversal and more about proactive harm reduction, primarily being mindful of and reducing fluoride intake.
Great summary. And maybe a final thought for people to chew on, something for the future.
Well, looking ahead, research is always evolving. There's some, speculative but interesting work exploring things like potential rejuvenation through pineal transplantation, though that's very far off.
Well,
And then there's the ongoing intrigue around its potential link to endogenous DMT, that's NN, dimethyltryptamine, a natural psychedelic, and what role, if any, that plays in consciousness.
still some mystery left, then.
Oh, absolutely. It just shows how much more there is to learn about this tiny, profound little gland and maybe how our own choices can help us align with its natural power.